afternoon. Good afternoon, Grace TV family from wherever you're watching us, whichever country you are in. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. This is Grace TV Destin. We have a program which comes to you every Sunday at 4 p.m. And last week, right here on Destin Designed, we had Coach Andrew Mudolo. He's the one that took us last week, and today he's back in the studio. He's back with us. So I encourage you to share the live broadcast that we have, because we're looking at a topic that is very fundamental. We've looked at other topics, and today we're looking at listening, perfecting the art of listening. Why is listening important? We've heard some people who say, if I listened to what I was taught, my life was not going to be a mess. That brings us to our topic for today. So please share the live broadcast and let us know where you're watching from. Please feel free to share what you think about the topic, and we'll be able to read the comments through. If you have any questions, anything that you want, Coach Mudolo is here to answer that. So Grace TV family, allow me to welcome my guest for today, who is Coach Andrew Mudolo. Coach, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Juliet. Good afternoon, viewers, wherever you're watching from. It's a joy to come into your space and be able to bring some value your way. Thank you for the opportunity.
Wow, that's great. Coach Andrew, we had an exciting time last week, and I'm looking forward to this topic, which is also exciting, perfecting the art of listening. I'm looking forward to this topic because last week it was just amazing. It was nice and it was wonderful. So Coach Mudolo, in a second, not in a minute, in a second, maybe there's some people that missed the program last week. So just kindly tell them, who is Coach Mudolo?
Right, Andrew Mudolo is a life business coach, entrepreneur. Well, I run programs of this nature, both
Great.
to individuals and families.
Yes.
And currently married with 3 children.
And we must say, today you've come with the family. The family is in the studio. We wish the cameras can turn. He has a wonderful family, and it's good to see your family in the studio with us today.
Great, yeah. So that's about me, and there is a lot more, but in a nutshell, I think that's what we can say for now.
Wow, great, great. Coach, today we're looking at perfecting the art of listening, and that's our topic today. Perfecting the art of listening. If I'm to start with, for some of us that do not really get it and do not really understand, what is this listening that we're talking about this afternoon today?
What is listening? First of all, we need to differentiate listening and hearing. Okay, so we mistake the two.
Great.
The fact that one can hear does not automatically mean that they are listening. Okay, they are able to listen. So listening is making sense or decoding message as it is intended. So here is a person that will be saying something, sharing something, okay, but then you are hearing, but going beyond the hearing, you are able to get the message they are conveying. Remember, language is just a means of communication of our emotions, ideas.
That's right.
We are just conveying. So language is a conveyor.
That's
right? So when somebody has a thought, they have an idea, they have an emotion, they have a feeling, they want to convey it to the next person. So how do they do that? They are doing it through the medium of language.
That's right.
Okay, and when they speak, we ought not only to hear, but to listen. So hearing is where you capture the sound. You capture the sound. But listening is decoding the message, decoding the emotion behind what is being said. So listening is a little deeper than hearing. And we say the fact that one is hearing does not mean they are listening. So listening is about getting message. Getting the intended message, because you can just get any message, all right? So it's not just getting the message, it's getting the intended message. Yes, so that is what hearing in a nutshell is. for listening, if we're to bring it.
I'm loving this. We've just started and it's getting hot. Today I've seen Pastor Lisa from Kenya has joined us early. Let's get to hear what you have to say about listening. The coach is here. He's going to answer all your questions, all your contributions. That's the reason we bring him here, so that he tackles all the questions that we try to talk about. And coach, having defined listening, why is the discussion on listening important? Why listening?
Why is this discussion important? Let me start with a story.
Please go ahead. I love stories. I love stories.
Let me start with a story just to highlight the fundamentals of this important topic. Now, we must understand that this topic is key because in the narrative right now, there is very little being said about listening.
That's right.
You go to any social media platform, there are hundreds of courses on how to be a good public speaker.
Exactly.
How to speak,
That's
how
right.
to sell yourself through speaking, how to win friends through speaking. There are a lot of books that have been written about the art of speaking, oratory. There is a lot around that.
That's right.
But there is very little that is being done.
That's right.
Okay, because no matter how effective you are a speaker, if the people you are speaking to are unable to listen, you are wasting your time, right? So
I love that.
One of the key in being a good speaker is that you are a good listener. So, and I think most courses on speaking have missed that aspect. They talk about, your posture. They talk about, your diction, composure, and all manner
of vocabulary.
Exactly. All these skills on how to talk effectively. But we must understand that the first point in being a good communicator is that you're able to be a good listener.
Sure.
All right? Because if you cannot listen, then you cannot communicate very effectively. So there's a story told about a small boy. Okay, this boy suddenly stopped listening.
Okay.
Okay, and we're told that as time went on, because he had stopped listening, his ears began to grow smaller. Right? So his ears were growing smaller until finally his ears disappeared. And the boy was quite, disturbed. Yes. And because of not having the ability to hear, listen, people stopped sharing stories with this young boy.
Oh my
okay, and in his head were ideas. This boy had head full of ideas.
That's right.
But beyond this, he understood that something was missing.
That's right. That's right.
He had a good imagination. All these things in his head.
Yes.
But he couldn't hear. His ability to hear was, taken.
Yes.
And the story goes that in his mind was a box of wonder. Okay, where all this imagination of his could wonder and develop thoughts, develop pictures, and all manner of imagination.
Yes.
Then, with his predicament and able to hear, he was walking along a park and found some old man telling stories to some children.
Okay.
Although he couldn't hear, he was intrigued to be part of the,
This boy couldn't hear.
And as
he had to sit there
and pay attention to what this man was saying. And just give him the face, look at him and, okay. But as the old man spoke, something miraculous happened.
That's right.
This boy could suddenly hear, and tiny ears popped, in his ears. And the more he went to this park to listen to this man, the more his ears began to grow. Okay? The more he listened to these stories, the more the ears grew. Remember, the miracle brought very tiny ears. But with the frequency of listening, the more he listened to the old man's stories, the more his ears began to grow out. And they grew to such a point where they opened up. And this boy was able now to understand or to listen to a wide range of, sound and music and all nature and all that. And it was quite pleasant to him. But as always happens in a tale, the old man died,
Oh, that was sad for the
storyteller died, and the boy had fears. Am I going to lose my ears that I cannot no longer hear the stories? There's no one to say these stories. Am I going to lose this hearing? But also something had transformed within him.
That's right.
That little box of wonder, that box of imagination that was within him,
yes,
actually was more closer than ever before. And when the old man died, that box dropped before him. All right? And within that box were 4 gifts, according to the tale. And these 4 gifts spelled letters, words. Each, it was a card with the letter, and they spelled, or they read, once upon a time. Right? And that gift, through that gift, the gift of once upon a time, the boy began to tell his own stories. Okay, the boy began to tell his own stories. This is
amazing.
Okay, and he could now not worry about the old man because he was given the ability to tell stories. So one of the ways that I said, he could tell stories because he had listened to the old man. Okay, he was able to hear a lot of his stories, assimilate as much information as possible, such that when he became a storyteller, he was able to tell depth of story. So you can never be a good speaker unless you develop the art of listening.
That's right.
Okay, you see people on the political set. When you organize a political rally, what did you see? It's the politicians talking. All right?
Yes.
And the people are there. The people who are going to vote, the people you want to say, they are just there listening. The other way should be the norm. Because remember, we are voted into power to work for the people. So who should be speaking to who? All right? It's the people that ought to speak to the one that is carrying out these jobs. So we must understand that there is an important component missing in the narrative of our society. We have abandoned the art of listening, and we have upgraded, or we have highlighted the art of speaking, and we are saying we need to correct that.
Exactly.
We need to change the narrative. Do you know that a lot of businesses can grow in sales if they improved their ability to listen, right?
Wow.
A lot of churches could have more impact if they went. Yes, they could grow, they could reach out to many people if they, grew this or developed this art, or they sharpened and perfected the art of listening. So it is important that we develop, this attribute of listening. So why the discussion around listening? Because it is a forgotten treasure. The art of listening is something that we have abandoned. We have forgotten, and because of that, there are a lot of things that go wrong in society because people are not willing to listen.
That's deep now.
Okay.
That's deep.
They are hearing, but they are not listening.
That's deep now.
They are hearing. Oh, we heard this, we heard that. But did you understand? Right? Did you know that most of these cases of suicide that we see is because somebody lacked one that could listen to them?
That's true.
We are spending time with people that are struggling with issues, people that are going through a lot of things, and in one way or the other, they are speaking these things. In one way or the other, they are hinting to their, challenge.
Yes.
But because we are so preoccupied with our own ideas and wanting to talk, we are unable to listen, and people end up taking their own lives. Okay? Why? Because there is nobody to listen. Sometimes when people are in a crisis, all they want is just a listening ear.
They just want someone to listen to them.
Somebody to listen, because the moment somebody is able to let this thing off their chest, the burden becomes lighter. The burden becomes lighter. So why this discussion? This discussion is very important because right now we are seeing a rise in cases of suicide. We are seeing a rise in cases of depression and all those stresses that are going around. It's because people have got a lot and they carry too much, and there's nobody to
listen.
Okay, there's nobody to hear. When did we hear that, okay, there was a toll-free line you could call and people just there listening to you? Okay, these are some of the things, initiatives that could even be done, like by churches. Okay, churches can establish, a call center where they are hearing people in crisis. People in crisis. Okay, you call police hotline. Yes, they want to respond to an emergency, but could there be a hotline that we can flag on our social media, such that people could call this number when in crisis?
That's right.
could there be somebody at the other end just to listen? Just to listen. So there is a need for this aspect of listening.
That's right.
Why the discussion? It is something we need in our time. It is a treasure that we have lost, and we need to reclaim this treasure of listening.
I'm listening,
Okay.
and I love the comments. Pastor Lisa from Kenya says, I'm paying attention, I'm listening. And I've seen so many people that have joined in. Please feel free to send your contributions. Honorable John is watching. Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear your views on listening. Coach, let me come back to you. On this issue of listening, I've seen it's a broad topic. It's a broad topic when we talk about listening. Now, what I would want to find out, and also for the viewers that are watching, do we have any biblical teaching on listening? Do we have something like that?
Okay. I must say that one of the greatest manuals, or the epic manual of life, is the Bible itself. Right? And if anybody out there would just read it once a day, okay, every day, I can tell you that the level of wisdom will be different. There's a practice I always encourage people. You know, the Proverbs. There are 30 Proverbs. I say just take that and read one proverb every day. Read one chapter.
That's the
Proverbs.
book of Proverbs.
Just a book of Proverbs every day of your life. Every day, just get Proverbs 1. When it is today is what is the 23rd.
Yes.
So today you could have read 23rd proverb. Okay, on the 24th, read Proverbs 24 and keep that calendar going. It will take you less than 5 minutes to read that, but the kind of wisdom you gain at the end of, say, a year will be so tremendous. So tremendous. So I would want to pick James chapter 1 verse 19 to highlight this point.
Sure.
James 1:19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters,
that's right.
Take note of this. Pay attention to this.
Pay attention.
This
That's the
is
Bible.
important. Exactly.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
That's
Take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry."
Wow.
Okay?
Yes.
You will discover that people who talk too much usually lose their temper too quickly.
Because they think, I just need to talk so that I remove this thing that I have in my inside.
You have too many words. At the end of the day, the mouth can't contain, your hand starts flying, trying to help you talk.
Inclusive with the legs.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we must understand that the Bible admonishes
yes.
That everyone should be quick to listen. Quick to listen. When you hear a lot of things going around, you see people that are too quick to respond, too quick to talk.
That's right.
Okay, pay attention. Digest first of all what is being said.
That's
Process this. See it from various angles. What do they mean? Why have they said this? Right? There are certain people who attack you based on one view that they have seen.
Exactly.
Right? They will look at what you have said from only one angle.
That's
and because of that, they will say all manner of condemnation.
That's right.
But when they get closer to you, or when they analyze the matter further, then they realize, wow, I think there is more than actually what I saw. Because remember, when people hear or when people listen, they have a framework in which they are receiving information.
That's very true.
So you will see that when somebody stands to speak, okay, and this, we're not talking about speaking. I would have given a leakage to those that are speakers. There's what we call frames. Every time you speak,
need a leakage. We need a leakage. Just give us a leakage, please.
When you are speaking, understand that your listeners have got frames of mind that they are receiving that information. So right now, when I say the topic of perfecting the art of listening, there are people who have got courses on talking, on speaking, public speaking. That is a frame. So already they are seeing this as a challenge to their course. They see this as a way of, toning down or discrediting the course they have out there.
Definitely.
Okay, because they are looking at it from a framework of, this is my livelihood. I make my livelihood from teaching people how to be good public speakers.
Good public speakers.
And now he's talking about listening. is undermining the aspect of, you know, and
which
they'll say,
is a very important aspect.
Exactly, because
right.
remember, you can never be a good public speaker if you are not a good listener. That's just
you
a
can't.
fact.
It's not possible.
You can't. You need first of all to develop the art of listening before you could then become a speaker. So there are frames when people are listening, when people are hearing you. They have got certain frames. So what is important is you, the listener, understand in what frame am I receiving this information. Okay.
True.
In what frame am I receiving this information?
True.
And the frame that somebody has is what will give the meaning to what you are saying.
That's
not
true.
necessarily what you are saying.
That's true.
You could be saying something, and because of the framework of another person, they will hear it in that context. They will hear it in a particular frame. This is why when I come on set like this, I endeavor to bring many examples or try to elaborate further, because I want to touch as many frames as possible and clear people's minds so that they are able to pick what I intend to share, not what they are just saying, because we have different worldviews.
That's right.
Right? So we must understand that the perfecting the art of listening starts with you, you know, growing your frames of listening. So if you are, say, belonging to one line of faith, let me say you are Methodist.
True.
Okay. As a Methodist, have you ever taken time to listen to what the Baptists have to say? Okay? Because you are trying to expand your frames so that your listening could be enhanced.
That's the thing.
Okay?
That's the
so
thing.
imagine you are Pentecostal. Right? You are a Pentecostal, and
like
you went.
Me.
You are Pentecostal. Wonderful. You went to Pentecostal Bible school. You were a Pentecostal preacher, Pentecostal member, and you have no exposure to somebody maybe that is coming from the Catholic, right? And so anything that is spoken by a Catholic, you will be only seeing it from a Pentecostal framework, and hence confusion starts. You will not be able to understand. Right? So you want to listen so that you can understand and be able to give value to those with whom you interact. So it is important to expand your range of frames. How do you expand your frames? By having the ability to go into another man's shoes.
That's right.
Okay. I remember having an encounter with one atheist at the University of Zambia. Okay. And this gentleman said, you know, I like what you are saying. I like what you are teaching. I have only one problem with what you are saying. I said, what is the problem?
What is the problem?
Is you are referring to the Bible. And I said, oh, because I'm referring to the Bible, that is an issue. So
that became an issue.
And I told him, all right, no problem. You want me to refer to Richard Dawkins. And they have read Richard Dawkins. So I began to quote Richard Dawkins, you know, Steve Hawkins, and I began to quote all those professed atheists. On the world space. And I was giving him ideas that he has never read as an atheist from the proponents of atheism. And I told him, I've read atheism. Okay? If you're going to argue with me properly, read the Bible. Read the Bible, then you can argue with me properly. But if you can't read the Bible, just reading your own school of thought, you are a limited mind.
That's right.
You are a limited mind.
That's right.
So we must expand our frames. If we are going to perfect the art of listening, expand your frames. One of the ways I think then free to air just came around Zambia, those late 1900s, 1998, 9, 2000s. You know, these now free to air were all over. And there was the Islamic channel. And I loved the debates on Islamic channel. And I would watch those, I think they used to come around 01. There was a popular...
So you wake up just to watch the debate?
I would wake up to watch the debate. There was I think he's late now, a certain imam, I've forgotten his name. And this man, you would love the kind of, the way he would bring information. And I loved his, you know, his way of thinking. And I would listen to him. Those, I think, should be mom at one point got concerned, thinking maybe I might go
joining
the
other
Islam. Are we safe in this house? I said, we are very much safe.
Well, okay.
We're expanding my frames.
That's right.
Okay, so it is important that don't be localized your own kind of thinking. You'll be too shallow. That's right. You'll be too shallow. Okay, there are people who say, no, me, I just read the Bible. Right? And thank God for the Bible. right? But if you study further, even in your religious studies, they will tell you about extra biblical sources. They will tell you, read other books that support the Bible. Antiquities of Josephus.
That's right.
Antiquities of the Jews by
That's right.
Flavius Josephus. Read those writings. He's a Jewish historian. And
That's
as you read that, you expand your mind. That's that when you even quote the Bible, you'll be talking to somebody that doesn't see the Bible as authoritative as it is.
That's
you can say, okay, have you read Josephus? And you point him to the works of Josephus. And you are able to bring value to even somebody that perhaps discredits the Bible as being the authoritative word of God. Okay, so there has to be this understanding. If we are going to be a people of impact, we must develop, we must perfect the art of listening. Then we can have more impact. But we are not able to have impact because we only have one frame.
Which is hearing.
We just, this is what we want. And we take that to people. We take that to people. So when we are going into a political discourse, you know what we are saying? Only one frame. Let's just pray for the country of Zambia. Let's pray, let's pray, let's pray. You are speaking from one frame. Okay?
That's right.
So when you are called to an indaba to discuss economic matters, the only thing you are used for is the opening and closing prayer. That's it. After the opening and closing prayer,
we're done.
You remain mute through the discourse, but not understanding that, when you read the book of Genesis about Joseph, there are economic principles that Joseph applied to save a nation from hunger.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Important lessons, but because you have a limited frame, all you see about the story of Joseph is betrayal. Because that's what.
And there is too much betrayal.
Okay. That's all you see. You don't see that there is actually economic principles in the way Joseph handled, the crisis in Egypt.
Yes.
And I always said this: if those principles were taught in at Ministry of Finance and all these, Parliament and all, we could have things change even in this nation just by applying what Joseph, just applying what Joseph did. But you know why we can't bring value? We have limited frames, limited frames.
They are very limited.
So we cannot hear when politicians speak. We cannot listen when one movement or the other is speaking. When the feminist movement are talking,
that's right.
All we say is, no, they are forgetting about the Bible. We cannot listen to what they are saying because we have a limited frame.
That's the thing.
But when we expand our frames and be able to see things from different angles, you'll be able to give holistic advice. You'll be able to help people grow tremendously. So it's very important. The Bible is indeed telling us to be quick to listen and slow. And I've always said this, that most people speak as though they have two mouths and listen like they have one ear. Okay?
Yes.
Their rate of speech is double their rate of hearing. Okay? Wow. Now, it shouldn't be the case. God gave us 2 ears for a purpose, so that we could listen twice as we speak. Okay? Just symbolic there, so that we could listen more than we actually speak. A lot of things can be done, a lot of good we can bring to this world if we could just start listening. Okay.
This topic I'm really enjoying, and thank you so much. In case you're just joining us in, this is Destined Designed, and I'm with Coach Andrew Mudolo, who has taken us into the perfecting the art of listening. So any questions that you have, some people that have joined in, Prophet Isaiah, thank you so much for coming in, and others that have come in. Coach, there is something that I want us to dwell in. I think our program for today is based on this one. What does the failure to listen mean? What do we expect when we fail to listen? What are the consequences, in short?
Yes.
What is the expectation of failing to listen?
Okay, so when there is a failure to listen, okay?
Yes.
Now, you must understand this. God made every human with the need to be listened. Okay,
That's
you know
right.
why it's important? Because if you are not listened to, you feel disconnected.
You feel disconnected.
There is a breakage in connection.
That's right.
So imagine you are a couple, all right? Or you are seeing somebody, Juliet, and every time you speak, this chap doesn't listen. Okay? You tell him, no, I want this kind of chicken. And they go and get the other type of chicken that you perhaps don't
Coach,
want.
before you even finish, I will walk away. I will come out. I want to be heard. That's me. That's my personality. It's not attention. I want to be heard. I want to talk and someone listens.
It's the need of every individual, because through being listened, when you are listened to, you establish connection. There is a connection that is established. You feel appreciated. You feel embraced when you know you are understood.
That's right.
So here you'll be saying something.
That's right.
You are saying ABCD, ABCD, and the person is just doing the opposite of what you're
saying.
And I thought they heard what I said. I thought they were listening. No, they were just hearing you, and they went and did their own thing, right? Because they have not perfected the art of listening.
Wow.
They heard you, and they brought out their own understanding and went to do it. They didn't hear a thing you said, right? So the consequences are that the person who is trying to communicate, the person who is relaying this information, because they are not heard, they're not listened to, they feel disconnected.
That's right.
And what happens? They withdraw.
That's the thing.
They can no longer give information. They can no longer speak.
That's the thing.
They're just quiet.
That's the thing.
You'll be asking questions, you'll be saying, they'll just be agreeing. Okay, yes. Why? Because they know.
And we have so many of that. You're talking and someone's just saying, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
And
it goes like that.
Because they know if I say anything, this kind doesn't listen. It's like that kind that goes out by prayer and fasting. This is the kind. It does not listen.
It only goes by prayer and fasting.
By prayer and fasting.
That's
right?
right.
So there is such a kind that doesn't listen. And when people discover that you are that kind that doesn't listen, you are that spouse that doesn't listen, okay, let's talk about it. All right, let's talk. So here is somebody, they will put their heart on the table. At the end of the day, nothing was, no listening.
That's right.
You heard them, but you never listened to them. Okay? And what happens? They begin to withdraw.
That's right.
Okay, they begin to withdraw. So there is a disconnection with the key people that you want to touch. So if you're a politician and you want people to connect with you, you want to have a connection with the grassroots.
That's right.
But because you don't listen to their voices, what happens to you as a politician? People disconnect from you.
That's right.
People disconnect from you. So the next time politicians are hiring people to build image building, let them call Mdoro to come and show them that they need to develop the art of listening. Because you know why President Michael Sata was very popular? Because people felt that he was a listening
I knew him for that. May his soul rest in peace. I knew him for that.
It's like he knew what the cowboys were going through. He knew what Van Market was going through. People felt connected to the late president because he was able to listen.
That's right.
He would go down. But there are others who even buy from the marketeers. Not that they are listening to them. They are doing it for the camera. Okay? it's image control. Okay? And when people discover that they are not interested, there is a disconnection.
That's right.
So the art of listening transcends just one field of life. It's not just in relationships. It is in the political arena. It is, imagine you as a TV station. If all you give out is what you think you can give out, but not doing a background, what is the need of our audience?
That's right.
Okay? And begin to feed to that need.
How
will you know the need? Because you have listened. Let me give you a story that happened one time. I was with a friend of mine at work.
Okay.
All right? So I think 2-3 years back.
Yes.
So there is this sales lady. You know, she had some potions, some creams, and different kinds of products she was selling. So she meets us and says, no, I'm selling these products. They're on promo. we've reduced. If you go to the factory today, this you get at 150. But today is a special day. And this is your lucky day. It's a promotion. Because I've brought them here, you get them at 65 kwacha. I said, wow.
Oh, the discount.
Ah, the discount. I said, this is interesting. Okay. Now, I said, no, what, okay, this product will do this, it will do this, it will do this. I got the product. I began to read. And the first highlight on that product was feminine something something.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And then I said, are you serious? You want me to buy this? I said, yes, it's very good. You can use it for what? I said a lot of things. And I said, have you read what it says here? This to me seems like a women product. It's a product for women. Why are you selling it to me?
And someone came to give you at a discount.
Exactly, discounted, you know. I said, no. I said, my sister, I know you are too quick. You want to make money.
You want to make cash.
You want to make cash. But if you're going to sell this product, understand who are the people in need. Where is the demand for this?
That's right.
Where is the demand for this? The women. Right. So go to the women and sell this. Don't you have anything in your backpack that is masculine for men? Not this thing you are bringing to me. Right? So you could see that already this lady was not about... No. She wanted to justify. No. Even men, you can use it. I said, no. You are missing the point. Hear my side. This is saying feminine. And we have too many people that are selling insurance, that are selling one range of product or the other.
That's right.
And they'll come to you and say, okay, I don't want insurance policy because, or what you call this, I don't want funeral policy because there is a grave for me at, at my village.
At the village, at the farm.
Okay. And there is a coffin I've already bought, it's there. So I don't need, so why do you want me to, okay, no, Kaidi, this and that. So maybe what I need is car insurance.
Exactly.
I need insurance for my car. So listen to what that person wants. What is the need? So you could increase your sales as, a sales agent if you just listened. If you listen.
This is getting bigger.
If they only listened. So it's important that we enshrine this deeply in the minds of our listeners. Our listening can be a game changer in a lot of areas, not just in the churches, not just in the political. It cuts across different fields.
Yeah. This is getting bigger. Coach, quickly, I want to know. I personally, who is interviewing you, I'm interested in this, and I'm sure my wonderful viewers also want to hear this. How can I influence, persuade, and negotiate through listening? How can I do this? How can I influence? How can I persuade? How can I negotiate through the art of listening? How can that be done?
Okay. Every level of impact is transaction.
That's right.
You have an idea, and you put forth your idea.
That's right.
And there's a transaction. People believe in your idea, and they act in a particular way.
Exactly, definitely.
People, you cannot have influence if people don't buy into your idea. That's so understand that the discourse on impact is a transaction, just like any business transaction. Great. You have to bring forth something.
Great.
And then they also bring something to the table. There is an exchange. So you are giving an idea, and in return you want an action from the people. Great. You want to change people's, you want to impact people in terms of their surrounding.
That's right.
Keep Zambia clean, right? You know why that has been a tremendous failure? It's because we don't understand the impact that we are talking about. Have we ever gone to listen to what these people are going through? So we'll get soldiers, put them to clean, and soldiers will clean. After the soldiers have cleaned,
we go back.
And you understand, by the morning, 6 hours you are getting to your place, it's so dirty.
Not
How?
6, 5.
5 in the morning, the place is dirty.
Dirty already.
How? It's because we have failed to listen. Because we don't, if we listened, we could know where the problem is. But because we've not listened, we take certain steps, we invest money in certain actions, thinking they are going to have impact.
True.
But at the end of the day, we have wasted money because the impact we envisioned has not been achieved. So, how can we improve impact? How can we negotiate? How can we bring influence through the aspect of listening? People, okay?
Yes.
People buy from you not when they understand you, but when they feel understood.
You
Okay?
can say that again.
People will buy from you, whether it is an idea, it is a product, it is a service. People will buy from you when they feel understood,
That's
not
right.
when they understand you. And what we do mostly is trying to make people understand our point. Try to make them understand the importance of clean environment. We try to make them understand the importance of one aspect or the other.
That's right.
And as long as we are trying to make them understand us,
Yes.
we are not going to have impact.
That's right.
But if we can make sure that the people understand, or we understand us, okay, they know that we understand them.
That's right.
If they can feel understood, then we could impact them.
I love that.
If people feel understood, this one understands what I'm going through, then you would have impacted them. So impact is about you, the person who's trying to drive impact,
Exactly.
being the one understanding
That's
the people.
thing.
Okay?
That's the thing.
Understand the people you seek to influence.
That's right.
How can you understand? Okay, first of all, listen. When you listen, then you can have an understanding.
It still comes back to listening.
It still comes back to listening. So the essence of listening is that you are able to grasp the facets that will give you understanding
That's
of the
right.
situation.
That's
Okay,
right.
so it is important that there is this aspect of understanding the people, and not you, the one who seeks to have influence. Here is another. I talked about negotiation. Many experienced negotiators believe that the purpose of listening to the other side is to find out what they want.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, that's right.
When you are in a negotiation, the key is to understand what they want, because if you understand what they want, you can craft
You
an
can
offer.
win the market, in
Yes.
short. You win the
Yes.
market.
You can craft an offer that speaks to their need.
Okay.
Okay? You
Great.
can craft an offer that speaks to their need.
Great.
But if you cannot listen as a negotiator,
Wow.
you'll be crafting an offer that suits you and your needs.
And it doesn't suit the other person.
It doesn't suit them. And what? They cannot
It
agree to
doesn't
them.
give you business. At the end of the day, you're the one that suffers the consequences.
Exactly. So they are unable to, you cannot come to an agreement. Why? Because you have not listened. So we can drive impact, because remember, we talked about speaking. So people
Exactly.
think, we can only influence when we speak.
That's right.
So here they give you a platform, Martin Luther. I have a dream, okay?
I have a dream.
You know why Martin Luther's speech was so powerful? Because people felt that this guy knows what we are going through.
People felt understood.
They felt their voice expressed in his speech. That's why that is one of the most powerful speeches. It wasn't his mind. It was the mind of the people that he spoke.
Wow.
It was the mind of the people that Martin Luther spoke. And that's why his speech could sell. So impact is driven through listening. When you can listen,
Yes.
then you can drive greater, impact. But we sit as a board and start thinking on their behalf. No, what we need to take to our community is this. What we need to take to them is this. No.
It shouldn't be like that.
Before you sit in your boardroom with all your good ideas, with all your training, in crafting deals and all this, with all that, with all your expertise, first of all,
time.
listen.
Listen to what
Listening.
to what people want. What are their needs?
Those that may have a chance to read through my book, The African Soul. I've written another book, by the way. It's on Amazon. It's titled
The African
The
Soul.
African
I need
Soul.
to grab that.
Yeah, so I talk about an initiative I call HIP, Holistic Initiative Partnership. So
Great.
when an organization seeks to drive impact,
That's right.
they should bring in this aspect. I can't share most of these things on set because it's listening, but it is a model that speaks to listening. It is a model that seeks to influence. I identify 7 pillars that will make the people you seek to influence understood. One of them is their religious narrative. What is their religious connotation? What is their economic situation? What is their education level? When you can speak to these 7 key areas of the people, such that when you drive a product, when you drive a strategy, the strategy must be holistic, and the people will feel understood. And when they feel understood, you drive impact. So some of these initiatives, maybe say by the Ministry of Health, they want mass immunization.
Great.
Okay, against COVID, against the polio and all this. You know why some of these things are not having impact? It's because the people feel they have not been listened to.
Exactly.
We just want to dump this product on them. They have their own misgivings. They will say, no, you want to wipe out,
take us
Africans.
Out. You want to wipe.
Exactly.
And that is what is going on right now.
That is the discourse. Why? Because we have a top-down kind of approach. Instead of going to them and then come back to drive strategy, where the strategy is coming from them, but developed by us. Okay. I always say this to parents. When you have a teenager, and you're at loggerheads, one of the best ways is don't point to them, no, you do this.
You do that.
They are standing from there and you're standing from here, and then you're pointing where you need to them. Go to where they stand. Stand with them and then point them to where you want them to go. Don't ask them to come to your side. Don't ask them to come to your perspective. Go to their perspective and then show from their perspective. Show them the point where you want them to go, the benefit of where you're driving to. That is how you drive impact. Listen.
This is really getting hot. I'm really loving this. I'm really loving this. So, Coach, let's dwell on this one. How can listening, you know, we're talking about listening and we're looking at it as an aspect that is very important in our everyday life, because this is something that brings true change in our lives. Listening brings true change in our communities, in our relationships. So, Coach, kindly tell us, how can listening improve the quality of relationships, the quality of business, the quality of the society? How can listening improve that? How can we do that?
In the interest of time, I'll combine those things and just bring one holistic thing.
Great.
How do you feel, Juliet, when you go into a place where you are honored?
The feeling is awesome. Okay. The feeling is great.
Into a place where you are celebrated. Into a place where you are valued.
The feeling is unexplainable. The feeling is just so mighty.
It's empowering.
You feel classy.
You feel, you know, validated.
That's right.
So, when you listen to people, it shows that you value them.
Wow.
People don't listen to people because they don't value the people.
Wow.
I'll tell you this. If our president came at a marketplace, even if he's not saying anything sensible, people will be there listening and clapping. Yes, it's our president. Yeah, it's the president.
Without saying a word.
No, even
we just give him a chair. Say, President, sir, here is the chair.
He'll be saying this and that, and people will just be, because of the value they attach to that personality of the president.
That's right.
So even if what he's saying is not making sense, they will say, yeah, yes.
Yes.
You know,
that's right. That's the way to go. Viva!
This is why most politicians miss it, you know, because they feel, they don't understand that people don't listen to them.
True.
Okay? People simply, it's a value, it's about the value they have for you.
That's right.
Okay, so even if what you are saying is not making sense, that's why go to your level.
That's right.
Meet with another president and see if he's going to be clapping for you. For another president to clap for you, it's because you have spoken something deep.
True.
Something that has touched his mind or his core. He says,
True.
Mr. President, yes, this is powerful. Okay?
This is it.
But when you speak to your contemporary, you go to the UN and you get a standing ovation, you have said something. You have said something.
You've said something.
But you go to a marketplace, all right? And you see, so there's an equal value here, where your value is equal with your listeners.
That's right.
They will listen because you are speaking value. If you're not speaking something valuable, they will not listen to you.
They will not even clap.
They will not entertain it.
And you know the pain where you're talking and someone walks away?
Okay.
They shut the door for you.
And this is what we do for people when we don't listen to them. It's
That's
like
right.
we slam the door on them. We are telling them, you are valueless to me.
Oh.
When you don't listen to people, you are telling them, you don't have value to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot listen to you.
That's true.
That's what we are saying. So imagine you are in a relationship and you are not listened to. And this is a person that confesses and says they love you. They say, no, I can go to the moon for you. If you can't even listen,
and you can't listen.
If you can't listen, which moon are you going to? Which moon will you go to?
It doesn't work like that.
Of course not. Of course not. So it's important that we understand that the way we listen to people shows how valuable they are to us.
That's right.
So if somebody is really and truly valuable to you, you will listen to them.
That's right.
And listening sometimes may mean asking for a comeback.
That's right.
Please, I beg your pardon, what do you mean?
Exactly.
No, I seek clarity. Can you elaborate in another way? Can you paraphrase this? You are trying to seek a deeper understanding because you value this person. Because, you know, whatever they are saying to me, because of the way I value them, I must listen because this person cares for me. This person wants to save my life. This person means well. You will endeavor to listen and get exactly what they are saying. But if it's an enemy, somebody that you don't care, somebody that you don't value, whenever they say something, you just brush it aside. So we can know that you value people if you listen to them. Now,
that's the only way.
The question
no
is,
two ways about
is there a person of no value? All people are created equal. All people have value.
That's right.
Our net worth may be different, but our self-worth, our worth as human beings is the same. And that is the value you should place on every person. Whether it is your gardener, it is your house help, it is your guard, it is your boss, it is whoever, treat them with the same value. There is tremendous wisdom that can come even from the people that you despise. If you can only give them a listening ear. So we can improve our business, our relationships, all this if we can listen, because it will show that we value the person that is trying to communicate to us.
This is really amazing, Coach. Before we conclude, let me just read some few comments that I've seen. This is from NetZone. Says, people buy when they feel understood and their need met. Great. This is coming from NetZone, and wonderful. We have a honorable saying, go where people are and get to the ground and listen to them, and after their feedback you design products. This is really amazing. This is really amazing, Coach. It's been a wonderful time. Awesome. But before we conclude, I want us to dwell on this same aspect of listening. Why should we pay particular attention to it, and what does the failure to listen mean? In 2 minutes, kindly conclude that before we wind up. I hear our producer saying we're running out of time.
Exactly. So,
yes,
like I said, one, this is a lost treasure. There are many business houses there that have never undergone a training on listening.
True. How
to sharpen listening skills. You do, if you highlight most interviews. I've had the privilege of sitting on some boards, interviewing panels, and one of the things that lacks is the eye for the listening ability and skill. It's something that we are not looking for. So when you are employing managers, is the listening skill one of those things?
True.
Okay, if companies could develop a criteria, a test, that will test people they are trying to hire as managers on their listening skills.
That's right.
A lot can change within a short period of time within your company if you are able to do this thing. It is in churches. You want to have more impact as a church. Are you listening to the community in which God has placed you?
That's right.
As a politician, are you listening to the cries of the people? You have your own strategy, quite right. You have your own manifesto.
That's
but
right.
Who voted you in power?
That's right.
Okay? Sometimes you may have to abandon your manifesto and embrace the people's manifesto.
People's manifesto.
Embrace the people's manifesto. So, failure to listen failure to listen will cost you impact. It will cost you influence.
Wow.
It will cost you peace.
That's right.
Some of these wars that are going on is because people didn't listen to each other.
Definitely. Definitely.
People don't want to sit and iron out issues.
That's true.
Somebody will say, what is the deadlock between Russia and Ukraine? It's because Ukraine says, these are my demands, and Russia says, these are my demands. And they are opposed to each other. That's and true. No one is willing to listen to the other. Putin says, no, I can't listen to Zelensky. Why? Because I don't recognize him as the legit president. He is a puppet to the West. Okay, so I can't listen. So there is a lot that is at stake.
That's right.
There's a lot that is at stake. The peace of this nation is at stake when people don't listen.
Oh.
When the powers that be are unable to listen, the peace of this nation is in jeopardy. So we must be able to understand that this is something we can't downplay.
That's right.
We cannot downplay. Our children in our homes are going wayward because parents don't listen to their children. And children don't listen to their parents. So what do you expect? Confusion at the end of the day. No one is willing to listen to the other.
Wow.
Don't you see the Bible where God says, come, let us reason together in Isaiah. Come, let us reason together. Why is God demanding for a meeting? So that we could listen to each other. Let's listen to what God has to say. And He wants to show to us that He is willing to listen to our own input. So God is not just saying, do this, do this. He wants our input on this matter. Okay? Come, let us reason together. Let's perfect the art of listening.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach. It's really been a wonderful time with you, perfecting the art of listening. We've learned a lot. Our viewers have learned a lot. And let me also make mention that it's not your last time sitting here. It's not your last time sitting here. So I'll not say, Coach, have a good evening, bye-bye. I'm not going to say goodbyes because it's not your last time sitting here. We are enjoying the wisdom that you're bringing to us, especially about perfecting the art of listening. I believe that our wonderful viewers have
There is actually more, but because of time, we couldn't go deep and elaborate a number of things. So people are saying, oh, what? There's some practical steps we could give, things people can begin to do immediately to improve, their listening skills.
That's why I said it's not your last time.
So you're more than welcome to for an invitation. I'm more than willing to grace the set.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What the Lord has also laid on my heart.
Thank you so much, Coach. May the good Lord bless you. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Wow, my wonderful viewers, Grace TV family, thank you so much for all of you that have been watching. It's been a wonderful afternoon. We were talking about perfecting the art of listening. Mr. Evans from DRC, I've seen you, you're watching. I haven't seen you today. I know you're in Zambia. I want to see you soon, please. Coach, it's really once again an honor to have you. We are looking forward to have you soon right here on Grace TV. So that was Coach Andrew Mudolo. You can search for him on Facebook, Coach Andrew, and get to follow him and also get his books. He's written a number of books which is above and beyond. He's also a consultant and a business consultant too. So whatever you want from him, please, you can just search for him on Facebook, Coach Andrew Mudolo, and you'll be able to follow him and hear more about the teachings that he gets to have. From me, Julie Mwami, thank you so much for watching. Our producer for this program has been Mr. Matthews, and on behalf of Grace TV crew, it's a shalom. Good afternoon. Enjoy your day and continue watching Grace TV. Do not go away from me. And Coach, it's a bye-bye for now. Bye-bye for now.